Welcome to video 9B. Who are the numbers in my neighborhood 1 through 10 demonstration. This supplemental small group activity extends the learning from the large group activity by introducing a number path from 1 to 10. Children use this tool to explore the relationships among neighbor numbers, which are numbers that are one more and one less than a given number. The materials you'll need are a blank number path to 10 with a vertical line at the halfway mark, quantity cards 1 through 10 featuring numerals and 10 frames, the character chart constructed during the large group activity, and a cardinality chart from 1 to 10. Please refer to the activity instructions for how to individualize for your classroom. This activity provides the opportunity to use the following key instructional practices for comparing and labeling magnitudes. Help children discover the increasing magnitude principle, that the later a number word appears in the counting sequence, the larger the quantity it represents. Encourage children to apply the increasing magnitude principle to compare collections more precisely by counting. Help children focus on neighboring numbers by asking, what comes after? And eventually, what comes before? Questions about the number sequence. Help children discover the successor principle, that each sequential number is exactly one more, by asking, what is one more than? And eventually, what is one fewer than? Questions. And pair visual representations of quantity to both number words and numerals to create meaningful three-way associations. Let's join a classroom as they engage in this activity, and then listen in as the teacher reflects with a colleague.
We were talking about the gingerbread man, and what did we build with the cards?
A pattern. A stairs.
A stairs, and you said a pattern. We did build a pattern. What was the pattern?
Snail.
It was climbing the stairs, so the pattern was that it was always one more, right? It was always one more. We always put just one more. It wasn't more than one pet at a time. And look at our stairs. Let's see if this stairs works the same. Okay. Will you help me count? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
8, 9,
10. I'm gonna circle this so that we're just look at number 7, okay? At the tower of number 7. Can you see it?
Yeah.
And I'm going to pretend that these are apartment buildings, okay? And so that the numbers that are next to them are their next door neighbors. They live right next door. So if I live in number 7, who are my next door neighbors?
8, 9, 10.
Just next door, not in the same street. 8. Okay, on one side. And who is my next door neighbor on the other side?
6.
6. And so if we were to describe 6 in relation to 7, how are 6 and 7 related? What do you notice about 6 and 7?
Because they're much shorter.
6 is shorter?
And 7 is longer. I mean, bigger.
Is taller than 6. How many shorter than 7 is 6?
1.
1. And how many taller is 8 than 7?
2. Wait, 1.
Can you show me where the 1 is? I agree with you, but show me where the 8, not the number 1, where the 1 is taller than the 7. Can you show, is it right here?
Yeah.
That's 8 is right here. That is 1 more, right? Here would be 7, and it's just 1 more. And you were saying that 6 is 1 less. Is it always like that?
Yes.
Yeah? Are you sure? Show me one.
Because when you count, 6 is always before 7, and 7 is always after 6. So that's why 7's bigger.
Okay, does it happen the same with 5? What do you think? Does it happen the same with 5? He's saying that always it's the one before is one less and the one after is one more. Is it always the same for the other numbers, Chris? What do you think?
I think that, so if we put this number together, it would be 7.
Which number?
This number.
So find 7 for me. The tower that has 7.
1, 2, this one.
That one has 7. So are you saying that 8 is one more? Yeah, I see it right here. Yeah. Well, what about with 9? Let's look at 9. Is 10 one more than 9? What do you think? Is 10 one more than 9? Yeah, it's right here, right? Is 8 one less than 9? I see you're thinking. What were you looking at when you were looking up? Were you looking at the numbers to see what came before? Is that what you were doing? Good thinking.
All right, Rebecca, thanks for having me back and seeing this very closely related activity with this small group. I noticed you talked about apartment buildings.
Yeah.
What made you do that?
Well, I just, I was thinking of towers, and so they were apart, and so how could we, and we live in a city, so the idea that, I should have said that this was a street, and that there were a lot of different apartment buildings that were organized like this.
Oh, yeah.
And because when I said which is their next door neighbor, they said 8, 9, 10, and I said, yeah, those are in the same street, but which one is right next door
Yeah.
on this side? And then I don't think I was as clear as which one is on the other side that is also a neighbor, but we did talk about the one less.
Yeah, that conversation definitely came up. And even, I don't know if it was street or block, but I think they definitely made that connection. But even that, right, the numbers on my street and my block still gives the feel of closeness, and maybe they're at the end of the block, 10 is at the end of the block, but
not that far.
not
Yeah.
far, not that far from
See,
7.
that's what we could continue talking about,
Yeah.
is that who lives closer to 7,
Yeah.
the tower number 3 or the tower number 9?
Yes. And this is definitely something you can come back to so many times, with different connections being made for different children depending on where they are, and allowing for them to access different information depending on where they are.
I want to see if you guys can help me build our number path that starts at 1 over here and starts at 10 over here. So I put this dark line here. I'm going to find a number, and it's number 4. So if this is our middle, where would we put this on our number path? Where would it go?
The 4th one. Yeah, the 4th.
The 4th one? Are you saying that the 4th position is where the number 4 would go?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you want to help me put it on?
Yes, it's
Okay.
right there.
It's right there. How did you know it was right here?
Because I could see really good.
I could see that you see really good, but can you tell me what you were looking at?
This box.
You were looking at this box, and you knew it went here because you looked from here to here, or you started looking from the middle, is what I'm trying to figure out.
The middle.
So you knew that in the middle would go what?
Get the 4.
The
so I
4.
can- 7.
7. Where would 7 go? 7 would go right there?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you know that 7 went there?
Because it's so easy. Because anyways, that's not 7. That's 8. This is supposed to be 7.
Is it?
Yep. Because after 6 is 7.
What happened to 5?
5 is over. Where? 5 is supposed to be right here.
Oh, okay. Can you put 5? Where would 5 go?
Right there.
5 would go right here. How's our path going?
Really good.
Yeah, 5.
You switched it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
What are we missing?
5, 6. There's something.
We just skipped one.
6. This go right. 6.
Did you need this one? And our number path shows that the one before is always one less. And the one after is always one more. And to get to 10, we have to say many more numbers, right? It takes longer to get to 10. We went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not there yet. We're only here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whoa, it took so many words to get to number 10 because look how many dots there are. One thing that is clear for me is that I will no longer just think that the dots or the representation is a crutch. But now I really see that having that visual brings out things that that the numerals mask.
Yeah.
And that's what you want the kids to be able to see.
Yeah.
So that's for
looking
sure.
at the numeral, right? You don't get this whole visual of how big, right? The magnitude of numbers.
So pushing for that, and then and maybe, you know, as they get this idea of the +1 or -1, to just say, well, who lives 2 doors down from you?
Yeah.
So that, because I think some of the kids are really ready for that.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Oh, it sounds like so much fun. I will definitely be back to check more out.
Or I'll send you a picture.
Yes, that'll be great.